Buffalo Bills pull off a storybook conclusion to their 2022 season. Will they get a storybook into the playoffs and conclusion of the playoffs? We'll see. But there have been serious moments of, I would dare say, magic. I felt it with my Miami Dolphins going against you in the fourth quarter when we got you on the ropes and the snow starts to fall and I could hear John Madden or the old voice, I can't remember his name anymore, from the old NFL films. And then Allen does his thing. I was so happy for you guys. I mean, obviously, beating the Pats meant my Fins were going to get in, and I'm happy about that. But being a fan of a football team is a weird relationship with people you see on the screen or maybe at the stadium who you never meet. You have a deep emotional connection with these people, and you feel for them like family. And the world is crazy. The world is full of a lot of stuff that doesn't make people happy. And what happened to Damar Hamlin was terrible, 24. And to see him come out of it is amazing. To see this win, to help him feel better is amazing. And to see the Buffalo fan base and all those around the league who felt better over this moment, that made me ultra happy. The icing on the cake was beating the Patriots to get my team in. But really, I say congratulations on a remarkable season. There were some lulls and then rises like a true champion. Now, the whole playoff thing is totally different. We get into that. First matchup is my Miami Dolphins. I don't know if the MASH unit's going to have this guy or that guy, so I don't know about that. But congratulations on beating the Patriots. Congratulations on that magical moment. So I'm going to cover the game, what I saw from it, and kind of look at you guys going forward and touch on our matchup together in 1 week. So I want to say thanks for stopping by. I always appreciate it. You know, you guys have been tremendous to me, different fan bases or whatever, but we're all people who like the game of football, and you guys have been ultra classy. So I want to give you guys a shout out to Ace Bread, my sponsor, because without you, without them, this show ain't going down. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. All right, before I get into all that, I want to give a shout out to the New England Patriots because they played you guys way, way tougher than I anticipated. I think anybody anticipated. It's unbelievable that it took those two big touchdown returns and two amazing passes by Allen to really pull this game out. The 35-23 score wasn't exactly how this game was. It was a lot more contested than that. And I got to give them credit. I don't like to. I still hate the Patriots. You know, I mean, I don't hate them. You know, I don't hate them. But they had an unbelievable battle with you guys. And really, it's about 4 or 5 plays on the season that altered their season. They could have been in the playoffs instead of my Dolphins. They could have had a 10 or 11 win record, except for about 4 or 5 plays. And I know it's easy to get down on them and knock them, but to me, they're a tough team. And the narrative will be that they suck and maybe Belichick retired, but I don't think that's the case. They're a few pieces away, all depending on how Mac is. So I want to get that out of the way because I believe in giving fair evaluations, even if you don't like the guy. So, for you guys, you know, New England deferred. That was probably one of the big decisions they shouldn't have done because then you get the Hines kick return touchdown, and you're going to feel like energy coming off the field. Now, you know, my man Tommy over Mafia Sports Report, he's like, Curtis, you know, you got to remember that this was a tough week. They had a hard time practicing the whole Damar thing. And I agree with that to, like, kind of bring some context to why it was a contested fight. But in the same token, you guys understand, but it's a little different when you're on the outside looking in. This is an amazing team, ultra tough place to play. And Allen is insanely elite. It is a nightmare to play you guys in this situation. And that energy, even though there might have been off-kilter practices. There was such a passion and I dare say a level of calmness. It was the worst kind of passion. It was calm, controlled passion. Because you can have frenetic passion and you get mistakes and disasters, but you can also have that focused passion. And Allen had it. I thought this was one of his most focused games. There was a lot of backyard football. There was a lot of tight situations. But the look on Allen was one of grounded intensity. And I say that for the rest of the team. It was a very, very hard situation for New England. So I want to add all that context as I get into it. So you got the kick return, and then Rousseau gets that brutal hit on Mack. And I'm like, this is going to be a ugly, beat-down game. But you guys came out with pass. And Patriots have a very tough defense. They're a very talented defense, especially when you go pass. And Allen had that sack, and then New England got the ball back, and they drove down the field, had that beautiful Myers touchdown, and that was one of the more amazing plays I've seen this season. To catch the ball in that awkward positioning and toe tap down, it was an unbelievable play, and then you had a 7-7. So I want to get into where I thought the game changed. And I've been saying it for 2 years. And even Romo, who I think is a wonderful play-by-play announcer. The guy is very, very smart. And I agree with a lot of stuff he says. And that's not normal for me. I usually don't agree with the announcers. But that Singletary run on 3rd and 2 was a pivotal moment because it really was an energy point. And it started the acceleration of adding the run game into the offense. And if you've never, been on a sideline or you haven't been to a game, when a running back makes a hit like that 3rd and 2, that crack, and then break for the first down, it pumps everybody up. And it brings a physicality and an energy that you really don't see. Sometimes you'll see a tight end. Like you could see them get pumped up over Knox, that one later on in the game where he could have stepped out, but he stepped in and was brought it from 3rd and 3 or whatever it was, the 3rd and 1. But the running back is just a different kind of player. And when you get that, there's a high energy point. That's why I love to run the football. It's an amazing feeling. And that really sparked some stuff. Now, you end that drive up with the Knox touchdown, and there was a stat by Romo. I don't know where he gets these stats. I got to find out. There's some good stats there. 16 and I don't know where he gets them. Somebody got to tell me where he's getting these stats. They're real fun stats. 16 and 1 when Knox catches a touchdown, and I love when Knox, for you guys, catches a touchdown because that really pulls things in and it forces teams to deal with so much more when they got to look at the running back, when they got to look at Knox. And you guys were really on your way. So you had you were up 14-7, and then Parker gets that nice play, and then you get 14-14, and you got a game here. And I was really, really surprised at this moment. I said, are we going to get an unbelievably tight game here? Are we going to get an upset? Is my team going to get knocked out by the Patriots? And that's not what I really wanted because I really still don't like the Patriots. Now, I didn't like Dorsey opening up with pass. I still think he needs to dial it in more earlier. But I did like how he came back to the run game, and I felt like he was getting better up into the last 35 seconds of the half. You drove down the field with runs. There was 35 seconds left or 40 seconds left. You had 2 timeouts, and you went pass, and you got the pick. And that pick was on 3rd down, and like I said, it was about 25 seconds, and you still had 2 timeouts. I believe you need to still add that element of run. You can expend the 1 timeout. I just feel like sometimes Dorsey falls into that Dabolistic type offense. Now, good news for you guys, the second half was one of my favorite halves of his calling. I thought he did a phenomenal job in his play calls, and I think if he had that kind of feel throughout the first half, it might have been a much easier game. But this is very good news heading into the postseason. And even Romo mentioned how difficult it is to stop you guys when you add the element of run. And that's been my contention for 2 years. So you get the half, Mack throws the ball deep and, shut down. So Stevenson comes out, and, none of us like the Patriots, but this guy Stevenson is a real good back. You could just feel it. This guy is growing each season. I think this guy's going to have 2 or 3 special seasons. He is a different kind of back. Had that big run, but then you get the Mack int. And I thought that was clearly pass interference by Trey White. Don't take it the wrong way. I felt like that. I know the Dolphins got 2 games this year on clear fourth quarter, last minute pass interferences that were not called. But you get the pick, and then Singletary comes back and he fumbles the ball, which hurts. Motor, as you guys call him, I like him, and I hated to see that happen to him because I think also it kind of has a chance to pull you guys out of the run, but you kind of stuck with the run anyway, which was good. So then the Patriots got another fishy. That Milano, I thought that was pass interference in the end zone. I thought that was 2 missed calls, but the whole day kind of was like that. So, it's ticky-tack, and this NFL crew is not so good. But it is what it is, and it was 17-14. Man, I'm getting nervous now. My team is like, I think we were 3-3 at this point or something. And then you get the Hines return for a touchdown. And it really felt like Damar Hamlin was putting a spell over this team because they looked like they were sleepwalking through that kick return defense there. And he just broke that tackle. Everybody was blocked, and he hit it. And I said, whoa, that's not normal. This game is not going to go the Patriots' way. And I kind of stopped watching it and had to rewatch it later. I was like, that's it. There's too much magic here. There's too much written on the win stuff for this Bills team. So there was that 2nd and 11 that came up, and Shakir, who my man Tommy's been raving about since preseason, came through in a big way for the first down. And then you get that Allen rollout. And this guy, John Brown, I don't even know who he is, breaks off. Beautiful read on the rollout and just use that speed to get ahead. And Allen just tosses a dime with like only he can, and maybe Mahomes for the touchdown. And then you're up 28-14. And I was, I'm watching the stats. I'm getting nervous for my Dolphins, but I'm like, this game's kind of over. But I did tune in a little bit because you see the Pats had to win that 1st and 20, and they got out of that. And they had the Elam missed 2-point. And I'm like, 23-28. Tune back in for a second. But then Knox, I literally just turned back just as Knox had that one beautiful one-hand catch, and he came down. But then you had a chop block penalty. Then it was McKenzie with the pass over the middle. He picked up some nice yards. And then the next play was the unbelievable, only Allen can do this. Not even Mahomes. Mahomes can't do this. He's turning away off any kind of normal platform, and he literally throws it 60 yards on a dime. Diggs had a perfect play. He was slightly over the top, at the last second kicked on his burst and put the points on, scored to 35-23. And that's when I officially turned it off and then had to go rewatch it this morning and a little bit last night. It took magic to beat this Patriots team, but they're a very tough team. They gave it all. Their season was on the line. But you guys really pulled it through, and I believe that the commitment to this run game in the second half kind of set things up differently. This is a very tough secondary. And if they have to pay attention to this run game, on occasion it opens stuff over the top. And it's not like you need to run, 2 downs in a row all the time or have, 60% run game. But you got, the nice part was what I've been calling for. Cook had 9, Singletary had 7, Allen had 9 too, and he had the one big run, I believe it was just before the half. But other than that, he was kind of shut down most of the day. So he had 9, but still 16 carries is usually off script. Sometimes you get into the 8 or 9 range, and this was a big deal. Now, Cook, I didn't think Cook was going to get here. I thought Singletary was going to be that guy, but Cook really settled down, and he looks like he's in another gear on the right surface, the surface that you guys have there. I don't think natural grass, maybe not the same, I don't know but he looks like he's able to have that speed, that quick cutting and agility, to kind of be almost like a Madden, digital simulation runner where he's just a little bit quicker than everybody else. And he learned some serious patience from the beginning of the season to now. 45 yards, 5 yards a carry with 10-yard long, which means it wasn't just one big pop run, which is nice, but it's more deadly when you have a series of, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9-yard runs is what he had, and it made a big difference. Now, motor, 7 for 29, 4.1, and he had 18 in the long, so he was the big pop run. He had that fumble. Again, that was a bothersome. But there was a couple of little runs in there. That 3rd and 2 was huge. But these two guys, if you just feed them in this range, I think it's going to make you guys extremely difficult to stop going forward. And it's going to be necessary. So this was a really good format for you. I think it showed a lot. You did need some magic. I think some calls kind of went your way. It is what it is. It happens every week to every team. But now you guys are in the driver's seat, I think, for the whole season. Because the whole situation now is that if you play KC or I think Bengals, it's a neutral site. And I keep talking about Tommy over Mafia Sports Report. The guy he's a great guy, and he's got a great show if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. But he had such a cogent and wonderful point that I kind of felt, but it didn't enter my mind really, is that this team wasn't built for the home field advantage late in the year because you didn't have that hardcore run game. And at a neutral site, it's going to be a pristine, nice condition. And this will serve Allen and this offense, this defense. I think it's an asset for them. Going up to KC, I think it could be ugly again. And they've kind of got a similar style than you. But Allen's ability to be physical on the run, the element, I believe you have better running backs to put you in this situation where you can use that speed. You're not deterred by heavy wind or snow or whatever. I think that you guys are in the driver's seat for the entire season. I really like your chances against KC. I think KC's a very good team. Mahomes is unbelievable. He's the only person I put in the same category as Allen. But there's a little lapses on their defense. They don't have the defense of you guys. Your defense is a little diminished than last year, and you're really missing Vaughn. You're missing Hyde. Obviously, Hamlin, who really stepped up. But you still have the edge in talent, both receiver, running back, and defense. So I think you guys are in a driver's seat. Now, you got to play my Dolphins. And if we go up there with Skyler and without Tehran, it's not going to be a pretty situation. Jets have a better defense than you, but we can only put up 6. And I think it's going to be a hard day for us. Now, Tua might play. I don't think so. I think Tehran might play. And that might make it interesting because you're a little susceptible to the run game. You like to play your heavy nickels all the time. And we have some quality run blockers. We were able to do something against you last time. And that's the only caveat. That's the only thing. If Tehran can play, we might have a shot. If our coach decides to bench Eichenberg and put Jones in at left guard, which I don't think so. But then we also have the issue with Shell. He got a messed up knee, our right tackle. The run game is the only equalizer I can see. Our defense is not too shabby. But without Tua and his quick release, his ability to read progressions, people talk about him not being able to read progressions, but he does it much better than Skyler. So I think still you guys have a huge advantage. Don't see Tua playing, maybe Tehran. But once you take care of us, it's only 2 more games, and then you're on your way. Now, I want you guys to lose this week. I want to be Cinderella. I don't want to be the bridesmaid and never the bride. But if we don't beat you this week, I am rooting. I don't want to say Bills. I want to say I'm rooting for you guys if we don't win, and Allen. I feel safe inside my heart. I still got PTSD from the 90s. Sorry, I'm a Marino old Dolphins guy. So congratulations, though, guys. You have a real good team. You've got some real magic written on the win for you guys. And I really mean this. Thank you for everything. And if it's not us this week, which is going to be, it's going to be shot. the world time, I will root for you. Curtis saying, catch you next time. Be well. As Tommy always does to me, the Go Bills, I'm going to do it to you. Go Fins. Start building your own online sports book today by getting signed up with aceperhead.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.